We have no business with Allah. We are African people. Like this man saying whatever he's saying.
Black people are not the original.
You're going to educate people from Europe, Chinese, Indians about our African culture. Because of these people, they don't respect us. They come to black people, they tell them about their Christianity, they tell them about their Allah. We have no business with your Allah. We have no business with your Christianity. We are African. So it's time to educate our kids, our people.
Black people are not.
This guy know nothing about our history. He know nothing about our tradition. He know nothing. He's just speaking his opinion. This is an open discussion. So don't let anyone tell you. Khoisan was the first people. Which Khoisan? You're from Europe. Someone is from Europe and is going to tell us about Khoisan. Telling us who created Khoisan. Xhosa, Pedi, Tswana, Zulu, Changane, go to Tanzania, Malawians. We created Khoisan us. Khoisan is us. What are you talking about? They think like black people, they're like those one who came in during apartheid and beat them and kill and do wrong things to our people. They think African spirituality is like that. If you come to people continent and you abuse them, you make them slave, you think we are like that. Say like Khoisan, which Khoisan are you talking about? Because Khoisan are our kids. They've that mindset all like they come into every continent, they beat people, they stole their thing. Everything they build is because of thieves, stolen. So they come in to tell us, Khoisan. Which Khoisan are you talking about? Don't talk Khoisan, talk about us. Talk about African. You're talking about, because of when it comes to South Africa, you're talking about all of us. These tribes we have here in South Africa are Khoisan. Khoisan. Someone coming from Europe, just imagine, to tell us Africans about Khoisan. It's like we don't know Khoisan. Now it's time to educate them. And when you see the comments, say Khoisan was the first, we all think we are grandparents. Just imagine, what color was the Khoisan? It's African, it's us. When you see a Tswana, when you see a Xhosa, like this thing goes like this. When you see Basotho, Xhosa, no, colors are mixed race. Don't confuse. Now, I'm not here to deal with your emotions. This is the fact and discussion. Trevor Noah, his mom is a Xhosa. I know. Yeah, he's a Xhosa. His father is a white. That's why Trevor Noah is a colored. He's a mixed race. So when it comes to Tswana, Sotho, these are us. Don't come here and tell us, Khoisan, you're coming from Europe, you're going to tell us about our culture, you're going to tell us how we're supposed to behave. And like I said, we have no business with your Muslim, we have no business with your Christianity. We are African. Like now the youth of African must rise. He's sitting there comfortable, Black Bull. What is the Khoisan are? Africans. Everyone lives in Africa, not lives. You can see ourselves. That is why when we go to what is this? When we go to America, they call people America African American. They say they are African American because of their dark skin, their hair. Most of them African American, they don't know their culture because of they need to know where they come from. They're from Africa. Whether they stay there 100 years, whether they stay there 500 years, the fact is they're from Africa. Maybe one of them, their grandfather was a Khoisan, like they claim, a Khoisan. Because I went through this comment, Khoisan was the first here, sorry lady. Which Khoisan? Are you from Europe? People start from Europe, they're going to tell us about the Khoisan, tell us about our culture. Come on. Khoisan was the first. I want to go through it because of this topic so nice and so nice because I want, before I go to the video, I want to talk about it. What color was the Khoisan? Let's see the response. You say yellowish. How do you know Tswana people? Do you know Sotho? Do you know because Tswana, Sotho, Pedi, and when you go to Xhosa, look their skin. Us, we are like lightish, like me. I'm poor Tswana. Ke Motswana hela tota hela. And we are here to educate Europeans who think they know us. As a black child, do not allow any European to tell you who you are, where you come from. They know nothing. They came here and they done wrong thing to ancestors. Now they're going to tell us about their Christianity. Nelson Mandela was a Khoisan Xhosa. Colors are not. Colors are mixed race. We are not Khoisan, but our cultures, languages, education, how we live together. Khoisan are the first people. Oh my God. Khoisan was the first people in Cape Town. Cape Town where? Arrived in South Africa, landed. Coming from where? Coming from where? In Cape Town. That's why the first people in South Africa are Khoisan. What is a Khoisan? This is so sad. What is a good? This is a question. I love Xhosa because of because of Xhosa. You love doing no. You look at the hair. When someone says a Khoisan, you know who you are. You in African language, we don't have the names of English. If someone is going to come here with the name of English or African names and claim is a Khoisan, you are not. Start with the name, and the same name present who you are. So when they come here, their name is English, say Daniel what. He's not African. Starting from there, your name, it shows you are not African. We don't have English name in Africa. The reason black people in South Africa, they have English name because of apartheid. The reason we have English name like now, when they call me Daniel, is because of apartheid. But you see, like those one in Cape Town claiming to be Khoisan, as their names, as their same names, is an English name, is an African name, it is an African name. It shows like this is have nothing to do with African culture. It starts there. And they're going to say like, hey, Khoisan. That is the truth. So Sakajur is a foreigner. The truth, the European settlers such much as people they come here and won't tell us Mlungu is he's right Cape Town. Which affair? They love to say Cape Town. What is the Cape Town? Cape Town. Anytime Cape Town. You can write your own history. How do you write your own history? That's the truth. Government is not willing to address. Address what? Like like in African culture, we are not having the mindset of dividing people like Europeans come here to divide our country. A Tswana, a Sotho, a Xhosa, a Shangani, a Malawian, and African spirituality. You don't like that. And African spirituality, you don't go to church. You don't believe in your God. Your spirituality. So like I talk about this thing, that I talk about the small basics. You check the name, you check the surname, you check the person who know himself or herself. You can see if their name is English names, African names, it have nothing to do with African spirituality. You check the hair. Your hair, my hair represent African. So either they come with a curly hair, long hair, claiming to be this so sad, but today's we're here to educate people who think they know about our culture. They know nothing. They know nothing, and you can see the truth. So what do you want in Africa? South Africa, the origin of in Asia. Support our history needs to be written. They call it South Africa. The reason, like now, we need to talk about our culture. There's a start. We talk about our culture because we can't allow people like this to tell us about our culture. You are not like this. You are not like this. Let's go.
Not the original inhabitants of South Africa, which, in fact, they're realizing that now. When they claimed that they owned all the land, the original inhabitants, of who there are not many left, said, excuse me, we were the original inhabitants.
I think Ramaphosa made a mistake. He scared them by signing a Bella bill. So like Africa can claim their land back. When after he's saying that thing, when he signed the Bella bill, they started to shake and they started to protest. I see like people protesting. To be African, to be an African is not about how many years you stay here. The same as when you go to America. They are African American. Where they stay 1,000 years in America, they are African American. To be Africa, where you stay 100 years, your hair, your name, your surname, who you are, it defined you as African. This is a definition of African. We don't love because people are saying, you've been staying here, you're a citizen, you're African. You're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself. Our ancestors, they know nothing about you. They know you as the people who came here, who did them bad, who did them badly, stole by killing. That's what ancestors knows. You're going to introduce those people to ancestors, you are bringing yourself a bad luck. This is a touchy topic, but the truth needs to be said. We can't always be quiet.
You guys were migrants here as well, which they were. Yeah, the original inhabitants of southern Africa are called the Khoisan. All right, now, and they were the inhabitants of the whole of southern Africa. So the whole of South Africa, at one stage, were Khoisan. The black people originally...
What is a black people? We are Africans. Stop saying black people. Khoisan are black people. What are you saying? That's why we need to educate these people before they came here. European, they found African people, black people. Khoisan, when you see a Tswana lady, a Xhosa lady, or Sotho lady, because of we are light, they'll be like, this one's a Khoisan, this one is a not black. We are black people. Come on. Don't come with your stories from Europe.
In what is now Cameroon. That's where they...
Hold on, Khoisan aren't black?
No.
They are what? They are what if they are not black? They are what? Khosi. How can how to go next? You know, like in Tanzania, they have their own Khoisan. Every part of Africa, they have their own Khoisan. We call them Khoisan, even they call them the Khoisan. We are people with culture. We can marry 5 wives. We worship the dead. Our hair, our skin does define African.
They're a completely separate ethnicity all on their own. In fact, if you look at them, they're kind of yellowy. They're a light brown yellow color.
Right.
But they look more Asian than African. They do not consider themselves African.
Interesting.
Who say that? You never meet one? You never meet one of the Khoisan? Because these are the topics we see like people claiming, and we're not allowed to be quiet, man. We can't all be quiet, spreading like this, spreading the lies.
When the white guys arrive in Cape Town, so 1652 is when Dutch guys arrived there.
Yes, Dutch. I love you, Dutch people. So Dutch people are Afrikaner. They call themselves Afrikaner because they want to fit to African culture, but they bring their Christianity to us. Africa, we don't believe in Christianity. Don't bring book Christianity to us. As we are African, we are our own gods.
At that stage, you could have divided South Africa almost exactly 50-50, what's now South Africa. The western half of the country was entirely Khoisan. There were no black people there.
Right. Hi, you have a problem. You see, like Mandela, Rolihlahlo, he left us with problem. Everyone is interested about Africa. Yeah, Africa. When Ramaphosa signed that bill, Oh, they were shaking. They were shaking. Hey, we have a problem, guys. We have a big problem.
None at all. Only Khoisan. So we're Cape Towners, all that area, Khoisan people. The northern part of the country did have black people. They'd started arriving, and they were still migrating.
How long have they been there in the northern?
Well, it's a moot point, and people have debated it. It would seem that black people had probably started arriving in the northern parts of South Africa, maybe 1,000.
From where? From where? You see, like black. If like we are not as a black people in Africa, we didn't have a culture, the culture of welcoming visitors. We never have this problem. If you have a problem with visitors, these Dutch people in Arabia, we are going to make sure they're going back home. So because of our Ubuntu, we welcome them here. After they're going to talk whatever they are talking like here.
1,000 years.
This is my first time to hear something like this.
Same to me. This is my first time. But like I said, man, as a black child, don't listen to people from Europe. They know nothing about our history, our culture. And they come here to tell us about their Jesus Christ we don't know. Don't put yourself in the business you don't know as Africans. Don't do that because of us, we are spirituality. We are African. We are the child of our ancestors. We worship the dead. That's us.
That black people are not the original inhabitants of South Africa. This is my first time. I don't know about you. But this is what I have to say. We Africans need to rewrite our own history.
That's what I'm doing. I know like people are shaking. They want to talk about this because it's so touchy, but we can't allow. We see like lots of people, they are claiming, hey man, you must behave, man.
We Africans need to start teaching our children our own history written by us. Some of us were taught African history written by our colonizers. It is thanks to the media that some of us are realizing the truth, which is totally different from what is written in all their history books that is being taught in some of our schools till today. If we don't rewrite our history, our children will grow up not knowing who
they really are. This is us. This is us. One toward African, you know who you are. We have no business with your alarm. We have no business with your Jesus. Don't include that your things we don't know. And if someone is saying I'm a Khoisan or I'm an African and they have an English name or African name, like African name, Dutch names, is not part of African. To be African is about spirituality, worshiping the dead, and knowing who you are. Doesn't matter you stay here 50 years, 100 years, but it doesn't make you are African. No, we need to fix that.
Yeah. They are now dragging our continents with us. This is how far they are ready to go. They have come up with so many different narratives, but this is the first time I'm getting to hear something like this. But if any of you have ever heard anything like this before, please, I would like to see it in the comment section. Thank you.
These people, they're from Europe, and they're going to tell us about our culture. They're going to tell us about what is a Khoisan. You know nothing about Khoisan. Let me search and say, what is a Khoisan? What is it? What is a Khoisan? It's a Khoisan. Good. Let's educate them. Let's educate them. Today we are educating Europeans and Dutch people who are going to claim here and say, we are Khoisan. Today we are educating. Khoisan is an abbreviation of Cape Holland orientation indigenous people from the South African natives. Let's listen. He's saying like there's nothing called Khoisan. I'm going to explain it today.
There's nothing called Khoisan.
There's nothing called Khoisan.
Hane Makuru afika ka 1652.
When Dutch people reach here, 1652, when Dutch people who call themselves Afrikaner.
War, they beside the Khoi War.
The first war, that's what they call it, Khoi War.
Yeah, 1969. Khoi is an abbreviation. K stands for Cap, yeah, Cape Town.
Cap, the Cape Town.
H stands for Holland. O stands for orientated. Like I, indigenous people. The Holland, indigenous.
The Holland, you see, like today, like coming so hard. I want you when you watch this video, claim me, you know, like what is question is because of Ramaphosa saying the Bella B, you are shaking, you're going to take our land back. You are shaking because we're going to take our land back. You come with your stories. I want you to have heart attack if you're watching this video. I want you to have heart attack. If you don't have heart attack, I'm not leaving you.
As people that came here, they started fighting with the San, the South African natives. It's about the history.
There's no thing called Khoisan. There's no thing called Khoisan. Yo, did you make my day, man? Did you make my day? Khoisan trap. This guy, you know, he loves to spread. These are Khoisan. These are Khoisan. These are the Khoisan. I can see me the kill here, man. I don't entertain those.
The San, the first people in South Africa.
It was trending a lot about the Khoisan. I want the real talks here. This is a mom. Let's watch here.
The Khoisan are indigenous Africans, but historically they've been seen as distinct from other African groups. In colonial times and even in some modern contexts, they were not always classified as black, in the same way Bantu speaking Africans were.
You know nothing. Khoisan are black. The first one is Khoisan. Let's get this.
Black people are not the original inhabitants of South Africa.
Say what?
In fact, they're realizing that now.
Don't be naughty, Santa.
When they claim that they owned all the land, the original
I don't like the sound in the background. The sound in the background is not what I like. The sound in the background. Whoa, man. I'm busy talking about the serious things here. How? We're talking about the thing here.
Evan, South Africa, the story of the Khoi and the Sons. Story some Khoi Sons, guys. But it claim to be the owners and
Man, everyone who have the English name and is black, English name or African name, Dutch name, he lost in African culture. So if you're an African man, your name, your surname must be in your own language. So that we are living in the thing. This guy is a Khoisan man. The Khoisan man. So we are going to get different stories about the Khoisan. People are claiming. Yeah. Why people claim like this? Let's watch this video. Oh, come on. You run away, man. You run away, man. Look at the hair. The hair is telling the story without going so far. The hair is calling the story. And if you're going to ask her name, you won't get Bo Dutch name or English name. You don't get those things. Look the hair, man. That shows who you are. So like these people that want to lie to you, we need to write our history. Let me do like this.
The Khoi are the oldest known inhabitants of Southern Africa. Long before the rise of kingdoms like the Zulu or the Xhosa, the Khoi and the San lived across the region as hunter-gatherers and herders. Their history goes back tens of thousands of years.
Look the hair, dog. So if someone can read a Kelly and what, man, you can see like this guy is playing here, is making jokes. Look the hair. That's what makes African. Our hair is different. You can usually it's nice to talk, it's nice to claim, but African hair is what to call that is what is going to tell you who you are.
Some of the oldest human DNA can be traced to the Khoisan people. The San, often called Bushmen, were original hunter-gatherers. The Khoi, sometimes called Hottentots. These were the herders that kept sheep and cattle. Together, they were referred to as Khoisan. Now, this is where things get a bit complicated. Over centuries, waves of migration and colonization changed everything.
These people, where they come from? These people, where they come from to attack our people? These people, man, they have no peace. Where they go, there's always war. There's no peace within these people, man. They came in, they stolen, they did everything bad to our people. When a president wants to fix the country, Ramaphosa, they're going to their father, Trump. He says genocide in South Africa. He said like there's a lot of racist law in this country. We want to be equal. We are not here to babysit you. We want to be equal. And that's what our president is fighting for.
Bantu-speaking groups like the Xhosa and Tswana moved into Southern Africa.
Tswana, Xhosa, Tswana. Though me, I'm a Khoi. I'm poor Tswana ke motlhapi wa ga maite kgatsele. Ke buela Setswana la tota hela. Look at my hair. Though me, I'm not coming to claim me. And when I see people, they'll be like, why you do that? Yeah? Why you do that, man? Why you disrespect our culture, claim we are cool when we are not? Why you claiming, why disrespecting my culture, man? I'm the person who don't want my culture to be disrespected.
Africa. Later, we had the Dutch and British settlers. The Khoisan mixed with all of these groups. That's why many colored communities in Western Cape trace their ancestry back to the Khoisan. Even some Xhosa people, as well as some Tswana people, because of their speaking tradition. Now, you'll find the echoes of Khoisan.
Definitely, these are other Khoisans. Like I mentioned, man. Like, dog, to be an African, those curly hair dog, my brother, don't tell her. But there's something wrong.
People beyond South Africa too. In Namibia, Botswana, even Angola, San communities still practice traditional ways of life. Even in Tanzania, the Hadza people share striking similarities to the Khoisan of South Africa. So when people in Cape Town say we are Khoisan, they're pointing to one of the oldest and the deepest bloodlines that is in Southern Africa.
But this thing is challenging because as like I mentioned, I'm going to use a good example about Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah, his mom is a Xhosa. The father is white, white plus black equals to colors. So that's what we know. That is the truth. Is a proof. So others who come to give us heart attack, we're going to entertain it. There's what I want to say. I know that guy is always spreading the lie. This guy talking about This is a topic, man. This topic is touched. People are crying when it comes to this topic. People, they are crying, man. This topic is playing with people's emotions. But like, man, the name, your surname is telling us we're African or yeah, let's focus. I don't want to focus rudely me. I don't want to waste my nation.
The San, the first people in South Africa, the earliest hunter-gatherer.
All right, quick disclaimer. I have a colored family. My fiance is technically colored biologically. My wife is technically colored biologically. My children are technically colored biologically. But they identify as black. They do not speak.
Yeah. Thank you, my brother, to come here. So, if I can date a colored, I want to give a good example. If I can date a colored now, like a poor colored, maybe a white person with Indian, they produce a colored. If I can date a colored now, Chinese with Indian, they produce a colored. Black and white, they produce a colored. If I can date a colored now, it's a Tswana man. And my kid is speaking Setswana, and they hold my surname, and my kids, their name is Bontle, Dumela Gape, Moshimane Gape. Their surname is Tlhobo. My surname is a Tswana man. They want to say, nah, I'm Tswana. We have a lot of Tswana who look like colors, but they call them Tswana. They are black, they are African. They want to say like, I'm a Khoisan, because if you're going to say like that, my child, I'll be like, when you are lost, you are totally lost. Let me do this. This part, I think you meant to click on new mail. This will be able to understand.
Speak Afrikaans. Why? Because we don't speak Afrikaans in our home. Cool. That's the disclaimer. So this is not a disrespected type of video, but I'm left with a couple of questions here, and I'm going to ask them. Number one, we all know the hair type of the Khoisan people. We all know it.
Definitely. Definitely, we all know the hair type. The hair type tells you who you are. Definitely. You can't live in like a lie, yeah.
It is woolly, kinky hair. So then, under the apartheid regime, or even when I was younger, in fact, let's not even go as far back as apartheid, I used to be made fun of with that hair. It used to be called pitukop. It used to be called cruiser.
Maybe these guys grew up in the area of colors. You know, he grew up in the area of colors. That's why they used to attack him based on his hair. Because our hair as African men, our hair is different to European, Dutch, Chinese, Indians. Our hair is different.
It used to be called houtkop. It used to be called kafarara. So I'm going to ask you, because they're walking around with the same kind of hair, how do you walk around with kafarara and not be a gaffer? That's my first question. My second question, under the apartheid regime, you all know the hair pencil test. If you had straight hair, you were either designated as a European or you were designated as an Indian.
Stop coming here because of you guys are shaky. People are shaky. This guy tell you during apartheid they were testing with your hair. If my hair was like this, I was getting beaten. If your hair was like a Khoisan, like us African people, they will beat you. But if your hair is curly, they will allow you to enter. They will allow you to enter. My brother, thank you so much for that information. It's needed to educate these people.
And then if you had somewhat in between coarse / what type of hair, you would fall within the colored community because the colored community existed. And then if you had coarse hair, but the kop, you had kafaror. And again, so if I took a Khoisan man or a Khoisan woman, a colored man, and I took a white man, who would be a kafar out of the three?
Khoisan. Between the white lady, the colored, and the Khoisan. He mentioned those three. He answered, Doc. This is the reality. We don't come here to claim here. This is the truth, man.
It's obvious. It is the one who's walking around with a kafar. I can say it because it's been used to insult me. Sticks and stones, family. Sticks and stones. I know that anyone who's not a Muslim, he's a kufar or a kafir, a kafir. Simple as it's allemaal kafirs. Verstaan je? So I'm not concerned about the word anymore. Used to be when I was a child, not anymore. So that's my next question. How do you walk around with kafar and not be a kafir? Let's move over to the next question.
This is a good question. Why do you work with African hair and not becoming African? It's a question. How do you work with a black hair and not become black? Yeah? They fail to answer. Look at the hair and the skin. It tells us. We are vibrating. That's it. Thank my brother. Well explained. Stop disrespecting our African culture.
Bantu doesn't exist. Nguni doesn't exist. Khoisan doesn't exist. Bantu is a word for Abantu, which describes the physiological.
Butu. Abantu, in my home language, Butu. You must have Butu. The reason we welcome Dutch people in our country is because of Ubuntu. That's why we welcome them, and they come with bad intention, and they stole everything. They did us bad by our Ubuntu.
Characteristic of a humanoid species. If you are a human being, then ungumdu in my language. Why does your DNA tighten up when you say Bantu, but it doesn't respond when you hear Abantu? Abantu. That's the first question I have. What does that say about your DNA? And it is a European word, Bantu. It is a European word to decipher African complexities. Why do you respond to Nguni, whereas Africans have been saying it's Angoni, meaning I don't sin? So you're not.
Oh, education. You see, this is what we're learning from. You can't learn to a old group to tell you like about our African culture. You know nothing. This is where we get the real information through your brother, through your African brother. That's where you get the real experience. Yeah? Therefore, the real experience. When you want to come here, hey guys, we are tired. You feel like, man, I've been trying to stay away from this claiming of to be Khoisan. When you look their hair, you feel like, oh my God, why they respecting our African culture? Why they're doing that? Because of Ramaphosa and the Bila Act. Hey.
Not responding to Angoni, but you're responding to Nguni. Why is your DNA tightening up when your European is trying to decipher African complexities? Yeah. And when an African is seeking to explain African complexities, you don't listen and your DNA doesn't tighten up. Yes. That's the question. Why?
Why?
And what does it say?
Why? They'll fail to answer. It's very, it's not like in school, they don't teach about our history. They don't teach us. In my African language, because I want to come to the when a black man, I want to write it here. When a black man sleep with a white person, create a color. But if that man is like me, I'm an African man, even though he sleep with a white woman, they make a child, that child will fall that man. If that guy man is a Xhosa, the child is going to be a Xhosa. The child is going to take Xhosa name and surname of Xhosa. That's different African. But if you see the name you are going in Europe, dog, you lost your culture. The same as you see someone who's black. You can tell someone who's black. So this guy is black. You see the color, you see the hair, you see. So this guy is an African man, but his name is English name. His name is English name. We can see this guy he lost. He don't know his culture. He don't know his culture. You understand? Come on, we can't teach you everything.
About your DNA. Number 3. Khoisan, we have Leonard Schutz to thank for that. Why are you insisting on calling them Khoisan as opposed to their proper clan names? Why? Because you know for a fact that, oh, yes, it's because your DNA is tightening up when a European says Khoisan, but when a black person says Tam, doesn't sound so nice, because you now have to acknowledge that Tam is a Nguni word. If you hear Nama, you have to now acknowledge that Nama is a Nguni word.
This is a real education. Where now, good explanation. Touch my brother is ill to believe, like when it relates you. Others promise the power, the world. I love how you don't. I love that you don't speak Afrikaans. Because the African man, why should you speak Afrikaans, the African man? That's my point. Because I could have relationship before the word explanation. We are all branches of the same three beautiful words. Oh my word, they used to call me Bushi because of his hair. While I enjoy listening to you and sound full knowledge to me, I'm also the son of Khoisan. They are making me laugh when they say this. This is good.
You hear, what's the term? Kwe, you have to acknowledge that Kwe is a Nguni word. If you hear Amakunu Kwebe, you have to acknowledge that Amakunu Kwebe, that's a Nguni word. If you hear Amangahwane, you have to acknowledge that Amangahwane are Nguni words. If you hear Okwashu, you have to acknowledge that Okwashu, that is a Nguni word. Why? Why do you insist on a European perspective when trying to understand African complexities?
I'm about you're killing it, eh? He's killing it. You see, I brought you a platform now. You can relax and listen to information, knowledge, man. We learn from our ancestors. Our ancestors before they die, even like now, they still live within us. They say, listen to elders because elders they have knowledge that's going to guide you and build you. That's the African spirituality.
What does that say about your DNA? Because your DNA responds when a European speaks about Africans. But when Africans speak about Africans, your DNA does not respond.
Why?
That's the next question. So you see, about me, my clan name, Domkwash, GQWSH.
Gosh, they marry or I don't know, maybe married a colored. Oh my gosh. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. See, this is the truth. Don't come with people and then come with their things here. And someone still tell about the Jesus Christ, the Christianity, and he says the Christian. Come on, that is a fraud.
You Google that, you will find that it is of Khoisan origin. I'm using Khoisan for you. If you move over and study Ngahwane, NQ, well, I think that's how they spell it online, NQARHWANE, you will find that these people, Ngamagunukwebe, Amagunukwebe of the Nama people, and that's where Odoram Afrikaner is from. So Odoram Afrikaner and I share the same clan names.
How?
Yeah.
I Kanjani mean how? Because of your laughing, it shows like you're asking yourself how. It's like it's the question of like how we share the same clan's names.
I am black, and yet I am your enemy. I'm only talking to the anti-black ones who claim to be Khoisan. I'm not
Wow.
talking to the rest of the colored community. Those are the questions that I have. And can I tell you something? 99% of you are not even going to listen to the video. You're going to listen to 5 seconds to 10 seconds of the video, and then you're going to comment some dumb nonsense, and you're going to help give me content. I'll accept.
No, they're like that, man. He said, like, this video is not for all of you. Those one who claim to be Khoisan. I think like you stay around the areas. that side, you know. Well, but like it's very important. This content is educational. People came and say like this is an educational video, educating. We need to talk about to educate people about our African culture. It's very important.
It is primarily because a black guy is saying it. Why do you have an anti-black sentiment when history clearly records that it is not African people who oppressed other African people? Well, we did oppress each other, I ain't gonna lie. But we had skirmishes. That is our definition of oppression, skirmishes. The same way that I would fight with my brother.
Yes.
The same way that I would have disagreements with my brother.
Definitely. Like they used to come about this thing of tribalism. I say like tribalism, we can be brothers. And we're going to have some argument, we're going to have fights. Even in their house, siblings are fighting each other. Siblings are busy fighting each other. So going to say like, hey, black people are tribalism. After South Africa is big, there's Tswana, Xhosa, Pedi, Tonga. Obviously going to be a tribalism. Is a part of the nature, it's a part of African spirituality. Whatever. Most of them, the Christianity, crying, tribalism, because of they don't know who they are. Someone told them, you are the child, you are reborn. I don't know, you are reborn or what they call it.
But it doesn't change the fact that we are but branches of the same tree. One of my clan names is Itole Lomtwagazi, meaning the child of a Khoisan woman, literally. So these are the questions that I have for you. You see, I understand why you do not want to talk about, we don't hear as much Malaysian heritage from you. We don't hear as much.
They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it.
As much Indonesian. We don't hear as much European. We don't hear as much about the Madagascan. We don't hear as much about the what do you call this other one? Even Pakistani or Indian. I think I mentioned Indian. The reason why we don't hear about all those other aspects of your being as a community is primarily because they're not indigenous to this land. And so it becomes obvious in the face of it that this is just another land grab.
Yes. Yes, my brother. So Panuel once mentioned this. He said there are different types of opinion. Panuel, he mentions that different. I think I'm not sure if I'm not mistaken, but I believe it's him because they love to talk about these topics of colors. If I'm not mistaken, allegedly. Let me say allegedly. He once said that different types of colors. There is Indian colors, there's white colors, there's Chinese colors. There are different types of colors. He said that. You understand? So let's go.
That's all it is. You see. I just told you I'm a Khoisan. Yet 99% of you aren't even, well, not Khoisan. Do you understand? And these are the clan names that these people went around and used. So you won't.
Thanks, guys, for watching. This was so educational, man. And educating our kids to understand our history, where you're coming and where you're going. Kali naki Motswana tota, poor Tswana man from Bokoni Bophirima. Re bitsa Bokoni Bophirima, Northwest. Thanks so much for watching, man. Bye-bye.